One, two. Where do you, let's drink the cup. Okay, yeah, you're right. One.
Welcome to Clockmaster's Hour, a podcast connecting the past, present, and future of Caldwell County through oral history. I'm Brandon Gray, and I live in Lockhart, Texas. Today's guest is Luca Newkirk. Luca apprenticed at Lockhart's now closed Southwest Museum of Clocks and Watches from 2023 until its closure in 2025. She now operates the Central Time Clock Repair Company alongside Lazarus Dugas, serving the horological needs of Caldwell County. Luca was also the star and central subject of my film Clockmaster, which documented the museum during its final year of operation. While many of the conversations on Clockmaster's Hour are with the old-timers, I'm just as interested in the threads that connect one generation to the next, and Luca is part of that weave.
I don't know what to talk. I mean, I know what to talk about.
I'll lead.
I mean, I know what to talk about, of course I do. I've only talked about the same general idea for the past, 2 years, at least since you started filming. The idea has definitely evolved a little bit since then.
Since
we started. No, since we started.
Today?
No, in September of 2024. I think it was August or September of 24, like the very, very beginning of when we started filming. And even you mentioned it in Clockmaster. It was all very optimistic. And if you ask me, I say that it was because I was on medication and I was hooped up on it. But it was also because...
Aren't we all?
I mean, to different degrees, I'd argue.
So now you're a cynical old maid is what you're saying.
I definitely feel a little bit
No.
pessimistic sometimes.
Yeah.
Or maybe I have a grudge. I mean, I definitely have a grudge. That's obvious. But
I think life is optimism, and then that getting shattered, and then rebuilding optimism, and I think it's an endless cycle.
But how do you rebuild optimism the way it was before when you don't have the money to rebuild optimism? And I mean in a work sense rather than a material fulfillment of the museum. Like, the museum is like number 4 or 5 on my future path because there are things I have to accomplish first. There are prerequisites. But
Money helps with things, doesn't it?
Oh, it does when things like the lathe are $1,400.
I think this is a good time for me to throw out my sponsor. I have a supplement brand, right? No.
I don't believe you.
No. I'm working on it.
Who's your sponsor?
It could be you,
Am I?
listener.
Oh, no. I'm going to say, am I the sponsor? I don't have money for that.
No. Yeah, it's hard to do things like this that are not for money, and
It's hard to do things that are for money when the tools you need to make that money from the big jobs are really expensive.
but hey, we're smart, right?
To some degree. Depending on what the situation
hey,
is.
if idiots can make money, then we can, right? Or maybe
Well,
it's hard.
well, that's because they have
Right.
computers to do it for them.
Oh.
Especially in this day and age. And
Look-
if you were about to say art as in modern art, then yeah, I agree. Modern art is idiot. They get famous off of nothing. Like, if that's famous, then I can get famous off my art. Are you looking at the clock?
Let's back up until where I feel like we're in your turf right now. Like if my turf is the clock tower, this is like your clock tower a little bit for now.
I would argue that, I mean, at least in this instance, when it comes to the library, it's shared turf, but there's primacy.
Yeah.
Primacy I say shared turf because we all work together, because it's like the
Oh.
clockmakers, the horologists, we don't compete with each other. We just work with each other because we know that we're dying and we don't have enough money or time, no pun intended, to be fighting with each other over stupid shit that watchmakers can fight over. Well, because they have, because every 19-year-old guy going in horology wants to be a watchmaker. One is classy and one is old man.
Yeah, watches are wealth status a little bit. Is that like that's not the entire thing?
That's not, I mean, that's what it's evolved into.
Like a Rolex and like,
Yeah.
hey, look, I've made it.
Yeah, like most of these guys that go out and buy $10,000 watches don't buy the watches because they want to tell time. If you're buying a watch just to tell time, you're not going to spend $10,000 on one. But
Oh, so we're clock people because we're poor people. Is
no,
that right?
we're clock people because we don't. Clock people because we're not pretentious.
Oh man, already picking battles with the watch crowd.
It's not necessarily picking that. Well,
Playfully.
the old people I don't mind. It's the new blood that is competitive, and I need a lot of new blood to get out of that mindset that this dying art is to be competitive, because that's not what it is. AWCI and NAWCC don't exist for us to be all angry at each other.
Agreed.
They're literally groups meant to foster education and cooperation among horologists.
Competitive, like
It was competitive in the 1800s. Like
I
capitalism.
thought you were talking about like now.
Well, it was competitive at one point. Now there's no reason for it. It was competitive at one point because there were so many different brands serving a true purpose. Like, of course, these antique clocks, these kitchen clocks, for example, were being sold to families. Nowadays, they're just collector's items, quote, quote. But that was because they were still serving your purpose. It was competitive when it was something of the times. Now people don't consider that to be of the times, which it isn't necessarily.
People don't know how to give anything value unless it's part of competition.
Or part of their daily life.
Yeah.
And if it's not part of your daily life, then, what's the point of doing it at all? It needs to be a repetitive process that you can draw some sort of joy out of, some kind of.
So it's for your soul, kind of. That's part of it.
I would. People have to be stimulated. People have to be stimulated. It's like a screen. I sit here, scrolling on my phone.
We're doing a pod to you. Better not.
Using that was a.
Yeah. It keeps you from not going crazy.
Exactly.
You have to have something to do when you're at home, and
it's something to do, and then like people don't take us seriously because things like kitchen clocks and antique clocks, like, I have my phone, I have my telly, what's the point? All I have to do is pick up my phone and, look at it and, oh, well, look, it's 11:40. That's what time it is.
I think that's part of the value of clocks is, and this is going to sound dumb, but they don't have a purpose. As far as like, I don't know, I'm kind of like over everything having to have a purpose. Like, it has to be competition, has to be arisen, has to feed into the economy.
It has to be useful to the modern person. Yeah. And that's why people just take these antique clocks and throw them in their garage and let them get waterlogged, or they just try to fix them themselves and then take them to the clockmaker and get frustrated. I've encountered many times customers that have brought clocks to me and I've gone and repaired them, or Mr. Galbraith, Mr. Galbraith has done them, and the clocks get brought back because the customer goes and fiddles with it. Like, they go home and they go and do something that they're not supposed to do with the clock, and then it gets brought back to us and they're like, well, what did you do? You broke my clock. And I'm like, well, we gave you advice and you didn't listen to it. This is probably how you got yourself in this situation to begin with. But Like, clockmaking is obviously not devoid of bad customer service interactions. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The museum.
You have any recently? You want to call anyone out? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I
Don't,
wouldn't
please
be. Well, this isn't a call out. I mean, maybe it is, but she doesn't live in Lockhart, so it doesn't matter. I don't even know this woman's name. But there was a woman who came into the museum.
Oops, I asked for it. Okay. But
Well, she went to the bathroom and she fiddled with she went and was obviously messing with a clock that was on a test stand. And when she went to the bathroom, me, Galbraith, everybody, we were out in the front and we heard a loud bang.
yeah.
And the clock had fallen.
Yeah,
You might have
which is
been there
bad.
for that. I don't know if you were. You might have just left. I think you had just left, but I think you were there that day. And the clock had fallen. It was even covered with one of Mr. Galbraith's little cloths, one of those little blue ones that were kind of like a mix of paper and fabric.
Yeah.
And she obviously touched it. You remember there was a big difference between the door to the bathroom and the tables in front of the bathroom. Like if you've ever been in the museum and had to use the restroom, you've been back there and you've seen that we had tables all across because we needed the space. And she kind of just like, oh, I'm sorry, and then rushed right out the door. And it didn't severely damage it. It was something that Mr. Galbraith was working on, and it
So
was
it's more
something
just
he
a
was capable
bummer.
of doing.
It was a bummer.
Pain. Am I allowed to say profanities here?
No.
No, is that a joke?
I don't know.
Pain in the butt. Powers is a pain in the ass. You can cut this.
Talk as if Mr. Galbraith is listening. No, I'm just kidding. It's terrible.
Well, I declare.
Okay,
I'll
I'm just
have you
gonna
know.
I'm gonna back up for all our listeners, and introduce Darby Newkirk.
Don't call me that.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. Luca Newkirk.
Should we close the door?
Should we close the door?
I didn't know if this was just getting brain juices flowing. I figured you might splice a little bit. I don't know how you go about
Oh no, we're rolling.
We're just rolling.
We're rolling. Introduce yourself, and for all the idiots out there, what is horology?
Well, horology is the study of time, clocks, and watches. In a modern sense, if someone says they're a horologist, they typically fix clocks or watches. But typically, the younger people, at least younger by like 70 or younger, designate themselves as watchmaker or clockmaker. What I started with was the term horologist. That was the word Mr. Galbraith first used for his job. And so that's just what stuck with me. And of course, it's funny because I use the word that's the most hard for people to comprehend. And I'll say it to people my age and they'll be like, a what? What?
Make sure your
what?
foot doesn't accidentally kick the stand. That's okay. That's a small thing.
And they'd just be like, a what? A what? Horologist?
Yeah, that's
So
what
because
people
it
are
sounds like a profanity, but it's not. It's with an H, not a WH. And it's a French word.
The study of whores. Sorry.
It's a very brash thing, you know.
We're in the Eugene Clark Library right now.
Doctor.
My process is to go off the edge and then reel myself back in. So we're in the Dr. Eugene Clark Library. The oldest library in Texas, right?
Continuously operating. Galveston Public Library was wiped out during the hurricane, and then they reopened, and so they technically take it's a disputed title because they were closed for some time. They haven't been in the same building the whole time.
I think I would love to go to Galveston, and I never have.
Really?
Just from a
Corpus
history.
Christi. How have
I
you
know.
never been to Galveston?
Well, we got wiped out by hurricanes too.
Were you alive in 1906?
No.
That's when
I
this
see.
clock was built.
Ooh, good transition. This clock right here. Tell us about this clock.
Well, luckily we have at least some kind of camera rolling, and I have plenty of footage, but how tall do you think it is? 5 or
Like
6?
if we set it on the ground,
If we set it on the ground from the finial to the top,
I would say about 6 foot.
I'd say about 6 feet, yeah. So it's a 6 foot tall. It was built by the New York Standard Watch Company. The New York Standard Watch Company typically only produced watches, as in the name, but they produced 2 lines of hip toggle electric clocks. hip toggle contact switch. And it was a late prototype of that exact technology. The hip toggle had been in existence for some 60 years before this clock was produced. I believe the man is named after a man. I believe his last name was Hip, and
Was Hip?
Hip, Hipp.
Okay.
I have a rule where I can't look at my phone, so I can't fact check his full name.
That's my rule. Yeah. Unless your mom texts.
But this is a late prototype of that movement. It is a later example. They started producing these around 1898, but they only produced 500 to 1,000 during its entire run. So the fact that this clock exists in this condition is operating at a public library in their institution.
And so this uses electricity and magnetism.
Yes, sorry, I'm getting really distracted.
Yeah, we're in the library, and yeah, I think we should close the door. We're the only people allowed to talk here, because we're like big deals. So I just expected the other be a little bit quieter, so yeah. Because we're trying to be quiet too. Okay, we can pause if you want to close the door. We're going to close the door. Okay.
I make a most uncorroborated library interview.
What do you mean?
I probably have the least put together interview you've done so far.
No, I'm just, this is free willing. Did you? No, the other ones are pretty wild too.
I just went down there and closed the door.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like this one's a little bit different by design. The idea is oral history, and I think in general, oral history means I'm going to be doing a lot more listening than talking. But obviously, here I am talking quite a bit because we've known each other for a minute now.
But I also think it was the same with Clockmaster. You did a lot of listening, but you also did a fair amount of talking, asking. I'd say asking more than talking.
Yeah.
But that's also because it was filmed over a wider scale of time.
Yeah.
Even Clockmaster depicts that, wouldn't say descent into madness, descent into horology.
Same thing.
Yeah, essentially. But back to the clock, it doesn't have a face. If you've been in the library since September or October of 2025, you've noticed that the clock in here does not have a face.
Yeah, I wanna hear everything you've done. I know you're about to tell me.
I will have to give context to it. This statement is not defamatory to any of the people involved in this situation, but there is frustration that exists in the situation. I will not say that the Southwest Museum gave the library the wrong dial, because it was a specific person, but a specific person gave the library the wrong dial, and we have not been able to retrieve it back from the institution where the things that belonged to the museum went. That is part of an ongoing issue with property.
But some beautiful day, we're going to have a dial that you will be able to put it on this clock.
I have made sure, shout out to Bastrop Sign and Banner Company, or Sign and Banner Texas in Bastrop. So Sign and Banner Texas on Main Street in Bastrop is doing the new dial for the clock here at the Clark Library. They made sure we had a special gauge of steel ordered to pretty much exactly replicate the original. They've been extremely, extremely helpful, and they were the only people that could give me a proper solution to it, and they are doing it exactly to my wishes. I'm very grateful that we had a company that was able to help us out with that. I hope I'm not doing unsponsored advertising, but I just think that they deserve a shout out.
This is not the radio. We are free. We can say
we're not regulated. At least I don't know if we are.
I mean, we'll be nice,
just like
but we can.
Netanyahu.
Other
Are you
than that,
regulated?
whoa.
That's what he asked of one of the podcasters. He went on a podcast, and Netanyahu asked a podcaster if he was regulated. That's what I'm referencing.
What does that mean?
Like controls on what he can say.
Oh, right. Are you regulated? Okay. I am unregulated.
I think because you're independent.
Yes. I stay good-natured, and then I can
This isn't a politically
you get-
tuned podcast, so
No. We love everyone here and we uplift everyone.
perhaps the nature of what is discussed when we talk about oral history, I mean, of course it includes racism. If you go back to the first interview with remind me what their names are.
Diazadian.
No, not Diazadian, the two women.
Rosemary Lockwood and Velia Sanchez.
Yes, Rose and Velia. Because I was like, it's a V and an R, but I don't remember exactly what. I've met both of them. If you go back to that interview, that interview touches on the subject very much. It doesn't just touch, it grabs the subject.
Yeah.
Because that's what they lived through. That was their life. That was their schooling. That was what they discovered at a very early age was the difference.
Right. I heard somebody, or I read somewhere that, in a history book, you read this happened, this happened, this happened. But Rose and Villia are able to say, it felt like this when it happened. Whenever,
When it comes
you get
to
that
history
firsthand
books,
experience.
no matter where you fall on the political spectrum, the people who won write the history books. The one who comes out on top writes the history books and is very well capable of changing the narrative. Anyone is capable of changing the narrative if they have enough control over what publishes the narrative.
True. And there's something about oral history that makes it more democratic. We're building the narrative together.
It makes it difficult for people to build a false narrative.
Or control the narrative. Absolutely. Which is what's cool about it.
Because it's someone who's never lived through the time speaking on behalf of someone who has and can speak in retrospect. If you've never lived through the time, you cannot speak in retrospect about that subject. It's just completely impossible. If you weren't there, you can't do it.
Right.
If you witnessed it, you can speak in that regard.
And
that's a different thing.
Right. And when I'm talking to people like that, my role is to listen, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, even, the childhood you grew up with completely foreign from mine. The one I grew up with completely foreign from yours.
You're 40 now?
91, actually.
91? You're an old soul.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it you who said me and Mr. Galbraith are the same age?
Yeah, that was a voiceover line that almost made it in the
I think it should have.
doc. Yeah. But yeah, you get that probably all the time. But you don't hate that, right?
No, I mean,
you embrace it.
People used to charge the words grandma at me as an assault, but
I'm gonna do a new one. Have you ever? You're an anachronism.
We've talked about that
Oh,
before.
we
Do you
probably have.
remember when we went to Field Stable with my camera and we looked at the Jesus comic? We were talking about anachronisms, and I was agreeing with you on how even the work we do is an anachronism.
Because you be like, oh, have you heard about Saint Simeon? And then you'll be like,
Sisyphus.
oh, on TikTok the other day
I saw. I saw. Well, I mean, I've known of Saint Sisyphus, the one that went and gawked at Alexander the Great. There are so many. I mean, Saint Lawrence was getting burned alive, and he said, "Flip me over, I'm done on this side." So.
Exactly, but then you can also tell me like what's going on TikTok and stuff.
internet.
You got one foot in the
It's a weird
past and one.
bridge.
Yeah, you're
Like
you're a weird bridge, Luca.
Well, I definitely agree with that. I definitely do agree with that.
Weird is only a compliment in this.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got to be a bridge considering Mr. Galbraith.
You're talking about, well, not only Mr. Galbraith, but the world of horology in general.
The museum. The museum. You can't have the museum without him. I will say.
Yeah, you're continuing a personal legacy.
There was something I noticed when looking through archives of the museum and different things. The museum used to have a newsletter. It used to host concerts. It used to have raffles. It used to do all sorts of things. Even Lazarus remembers a raffle. I feel like the less Galbraith had his own hands on his creation, the more we got boring. I mean, by the end, Galbraith couldn't even put up a model railroad he wanted to put up. And I will say that was his creation, and I do still sit in sadness because of the way that his creation was stripped away from him. He dedicated time and money and the entire later portion of his life to something that was supposed to serve, and served beautifully for 17 years. And, the only thing I can do to save the museum now is to bring it back and not let any of the people who had a part in taking it down bring their negativity into it.
Which brings us back to money. But no, I don't want to talk about money anymore because that's boring.
No,
I get bored to fucking tears.
There's this video I saw, and it was some joke about climate change. It was a bunch of old people talking like, oh, climate change, that doesn't matter. I'll be dead soon anyway. It's kind of how it felt with the museum sometimes. Not with Galbraith, but with some of the other people. It felt like, oh, I'll be done with this soon anyway. I'll be going to California on vacation soon to go live in my retirement, so it doesn't matter. But who is gonna carry on the legacy of an institution when the only people who have their hands on it have that kind of mentality? And perhaps the more I go
if you really want to make a museum someday, I think you could do it.
I don't think I can't.
Good. Well, I'll just...
Everyone I've mentioned it to wants to have some part in bringing it back. And if you don't want to have a part in bringing it back, then you can stay away and not have any involvement in it. But you're not going to try to bring something like that down, because you're only doing harm for yourself and both the horological institution. Because in all honesty, we have done nothing but give our work to this county. Like, even I advertise with Central Time. Like, the county trusts us. The library trusts us, Like, you should too. The big people trust us, so you should too.
Yeah, the thing that makes me sad is like it felt like yes, the museum was in need of some new life and I felt like we were real close to doing that. And then once we started to get a little momentum, it kind of got taken away.
I worry that we will never be able to fully encapsulate what happened with the museum without pointing fingers. And I have to be honest with that.
Okay, that's fair, but it might not be what's for here.
If an institution cannot survive by living grant to grant from a foundation, I'm going to be honest, because we were just sipping up grant money and not planning what to do when the money ran out. We weren't planning on how to stretch that money.
Right. And then
the board meetings were just regurgitating, and they were just like, oh, well, we'll be done with this anyway. Sorry, but boomers make me upset sometimes.
Boomers.
I'm not sure what it is. Like, Mr. Galbraith was up to 30 years older than some of the people at the museum, not to mention 75 years older than me.
But he had
He had life, he had vivacity.
He was a bridge too, because he was a young soul.
It was like it was like his body was the only thing that grew up.
Yeah.
Y'all
are like the inverse of each other. Oh, I had a deep thought this morning. No, I really did.
Ask away.
Do it at that time because you're in tweener.
Clocks.
Only needs to be
Clocks?
Clocks, like the tower clock.
Specifically?
They used to be like, that was like the modern age descending on the town, and it changed everything back in its day. Or didn't change everything.
So if you look at, if it depends on which one you're talking about. If you think about the Sep Thomas that's up in the Caldwell County courthouse right now, that thing is space age. That thing is space age by its day.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, it's
1926. So it's the automatic rewind train would have been dated to the 20s or 30s. They would have produced those around then.
Yeah.
They're more modern Seth Thomas tower clocks, but
But
they killed that production by the 50s.
But now it's, I mean, obviously, like, it's a perfect machine that, like, today, yesterday, any day, but like now it's like a symbol of the past, if you know what I mean. And then when it came out, it was like, like,
Tower
oh,
clocks.
clocks, this modern world coming
Tower
in.
clocks have existed in some form since the 12th century.
That's true. That's true.
You look in England and Europe, turret clocks are your first, and the Seth Thomas is not a turret clock. If you had ever been in the Southwest Museum and seen our tower clock that was rectangular, had the two big drums, that is an English turret clock. That's the typical rectangular build, and they typically sit on tables rather than having their own legs like the Americans do. Like Howard Miller's and Seth Thomas's have their own legs where you typically just screw it into the clock tower, like onto the floor. Or, if you do restoration, you put wheels, and then that makes your life slightly easier. It's still multiple 100 pounds. I'm sure that, I'm sure that.
Wait, you don't like my deep thought? No, I'm just kidding. No, you do.
No, I do like your deep thought. I'm divulging on your deep thought. We, if the courthouse is sitting on historical commission money, where did they get the money to do that descending stair ladder? Like, did they just pull that out of their ass one day? Or did you ask about it? Or was it a
Here
thing
at Clockmaster's Hour, we love everyone, and I don't know, honestly.
You don't know?
Yeah.
It just showed up?
Yeah, it really did. Maybe like the maintenance people were. I don't know. I don't know the story
I'm thinking they have money accommodated. I think they get budget money that's dedicated to some of the historical side of things because it's a National Historic Landmark and money that they have to spend.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty space age. You should take a video of it, show them how accommodated you are. Because you were having to take up your own ladder to get up there first, right? Or was it just the attic door? Because I thought in Clockmaster, Ben had gone up his own.
Yeah, it was bring your own ladder style.
Which is insane how you go from bring your own ladder to that thing, which is remote controlled. They clearly had some money that they just like needed to spend. So I'm saying if you need your bronze bell dipped, I showed you that video of them dipping it in to clean it in that bath. If you need your bronze bell cleaned, or tarps or something, go wink at courthouse. Go be like, you guys have any historical commission money you need to give out of the way so we wink wink. I can't really wink, but I'm not really good at it.
It was a good try.
Like Michael Jackson trying to wink. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos of him trying to wink and he like.
No, it's because his face is.
I think
Anyways,
it's just because he's
talk
Michael
about
Jackson.
your clock business.
I'm allowed to self-promote.
Yeah.
Well, Central Time Clock Repair Company. Look us up on Google. We've got a Google business page. Pretty much everything but watches. Don't bring us a watch, please. I cannot do it. Clock repair. Clocks. Only clocks. You can find us on the American Watch and Clockmakers Institute directory and on our own website, which is tagged to our Google business page and my Instagram account. Which I'm pretty sure my Instagram is just at Lockhart Clock Lady.
Yeah, you're legit now. You're getting customers.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been getting customers since before we advertised. The museum was such an amazing help for that. But advertising that you're based in Caldwell County and only really serve Caldwell County has got us business in our own right, because I'll post something on Facebook and get 2 messages in the next 10 minutes because they're older people scrolling on Facebook. They see my ad, they're like, crap, this exists, I'll go take my clock to get fixed.
That's where I promote this podcast, is Facebook, and that's the only thing Facebook is good for, is
and looking for old photos.
And looking for
Are you in the Caldwell County, Texas history through photos and videos?
I think so.
It's got everything. It's the big one.
Yeah.
I've looked on some of the Crockett High School alumni pages for stuff about Mr. Galbraith, and all the comments are like, Mr. Galbraith was the best teacher ever. He was the best. I had a realization today when writing my first blog post. His real name on his license is not Eugene Galbraith. It is Elton Galbraith.
Elton.
Yeah, his name is Elton Eugene Galbraith. Eugene is his middle name, then shortened to Gene. When he would come visit me at school, you know, if you go to any of the public schools to visit, when we went to the high school, you had to give the lady at the front desk your ID and get that little sticker. You know, if you've ever been to high school down in Carver Kindergarten as a visitor, you have had to give your ID, some kind of photo ID, and get that little badge. It is a state law. And every time he'd do that, his little badge would say Elton Galbraith.
This is new information to me.
Well, because he was born Francis Elton Eugene Galbraith. He was named after his midwife, who was a black woman. He was born in Clarksville.
Yes. Did you spend a lot of time with your grandparents growing up?
I lived with them.
That explains so much. No, I think I knew that.
It wasn't here. They live in Bryan College Station. I thought you were gonna make a comment asking if I had ever been here when I was younger.
No. I was saying,
I could answer that question.
like, maybe that's a little bit where your old soul comes from, is maybe your grandparents. A little bit?
I definitely say partially, but not as severely. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of it's myself. But no, my first time coming in here, I was like 5, and I was in kindergarten, and we went on a class field trip. And it was, you know, I was in this building. I was on the ground floor, and this building was huge to little me. We were all
Right.
wearing handmade snowman face t-shirts. It was like Christmas, and we just went on a little field trip, and they like read to us. And gosh, I don't even think they had the children's area finalized by that time, if we were in here, because I remember when we started going into the children's area. The children's area is quite nice. It's very well accommodated. And when I was 5, I always thought, oh, I want to go on that balcony. And
This
where are
one
we
we're
sitting?
on
The
right now?
one we're, yeah.
Oh, are we
exactly.
fulfilling dreams right now?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I fulfilled dreams with this, with the birdie house where Kara McGregor lives, Mr. Galbraith's daughter. I'd always looked at that house and wanted to go inside of it. And then I put
I bet it's
2
pretty
and 2
cool,
together.
huh?
It's gorgeous. She does the holiday house tour, so when that runs around, Lockhart Holiday Home Tour, go see the birdie house. It's a B&B, so you can book stay. I think it's like $150 per room per
That ain't
night.
bad.
It's not bad.
Man, we got all kinds of shout outs here.
Wendy R. and her husband, we did it before Kara moved in.
Maybe if I talk about the birdie house on every episode, I can get a room for free.
Well, you know, you can't help but shout out people because we're all connected in this little town.
Absolutely.
We're all connected. And, you know, I realize as I sit here, I don't talk much about oral history. Well, I mean, I do, but I don't. Not in the same way that the other people you've interviewed have. But because my life is just a sliver of theirs. I mean, just a fingernail of theirs. It's minimal. Because, you know, what was 6 years ago for me was forever ago, and that was not that long for you. My life is spaced out so much differently.
I'm 41. I turned 42 next month.
August?
I don't know why anyone.
I thought it was, oh no, it is August. It's like
August,
late
yeah.
August, right? What?
Yeah.
28th?
27th.
27th.
Near
Is it close?
December
5th.
December 5th.
I'm trying to see if I can book out this place to my birthday party.
That would be cool.
I know. It'd be really cool if we could have everyone dancing and to get a shot of
Dance.
everyone dance, but
Do you
from up
dance?
here. I mean, I'd like to. I do when
Cool.
I can. I remember.
Well, do you enjoy dancing?
I do enjoy dancing. I think the most fun I've ever had dancing, Kalahari Taffy Teach Tomorrow Summit 2024. It was the 40th annual. It was still when, if you've gone to the high school, of course you know Miss Crable. It was when her daughter Peyton was still at the high school. She was Taffy State Secretary and Taffy Area 3 President. So President for our Legion and then Secretary for the whole state. Oh my gosh. You would have had to been there to see how many awards that girl got. The district had a separate plaque made for her just to highlight her immense achievement because she was the first one to do pretty much everything she did.
That's awesome.
She helped take Lockhart to nationals for the first year, but her last year, Taffy has a dance the last night before the award ceremony. It goes from like 8 to 11. And that DJ was playing nothing clean. Nothing clean. And he was splicing it so bad. It was the worst DJ ever. But I have never had more fun dancing with a bunch of high school juniors and seniors. Yeah, it was really fun. They put a lot of money into those events, the Teach Tomorrow Summit. Definitely a lot of effort into the dance. It's a real fun event. They always have a little ballroom with a DJ. They do the lighting right. You know, when you bring fun people, it's fun.
Well, you could get Alex to DJ your birthday in the library.
Clockmaster.
And then you think of a theme, you know, like under the sea dance. I don't know.
I'm not a theme. If I get it in here and I send out invitations, it's just gonna be like wear something nice to accentuate the atmosphere of the event.
Right.
Like, I'm not expecting you to show up in white tie and tailcoat, but, you know, dress nice. And yeah, I think I am looking at you this time.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, tuck your, like, what you got going on right now is good. Tuck your shirt in, belt, and then just pin your collar, and boom. You instantly turn the same outfit.
Tuck my shirt, pin my collar.
And that's it.
Brush my hair? Or is it okay?
I mean,
and then Galbraith. I think this is...
You got to do it Galbraith style, that little swoop. He like hairsprays.
Yeah.
Betty used to use his wife's Aquanet back in the day. I mean, if you've seen pictures of what Mrs. Galbraith looks like, she was a beautiful woman, and she still is.
I'm writing this down. Tuck in my shirt.
But like what you're wearing is perfect. It's just I think the way. Shirt. Just tuck the shirt into your pants with a belt. And then just pin but remember, not all your shirts have buttons to pin the collar. Sometimes I use safety pins. Because a pinned collar always looks way better than a flat collar. Some shirts are designed to have flat collar, but it only works with certain jackets.
This is good. Good tips.
It's taken me a lot of time to figure out what kind of style works right.
You have a very definitive style.
Well, I think I'm just a very definitive person in general. Like, I'll meet people and they'll be like, oh, I don't think I recognize you. And they'll have like a 0.5 second, like, go through all 7 stages of grief, realizing who I am. Like, oh, clocks, museum, documentary. I just like all rushes to their mind. Or there have been instances where I've been at restaurants or places here. Someone's come up to me and been like, you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. I love your work. And I'll forget for a second. I'm like, why are you saying this to me?
That's what I love about Lockhart. Everyone's a star here. We can be. Like,
I wouldn't say everyone is a star, but everyone can be. Everyone is capable of it.
There's
if they pushed forward.
Yeah.
But there's only one me. And there's only one you. And with what we do, I don't,
And listener, there's only one you.
And it's kind of hard to copy us.
Stop trying to copy Luca.
People don't. Shockingly, I'm very glad. And if they did, they'd be horrible at it too.
That's true.
Because it's not just the way you dress, and it's not just LARPing, liking clocks. I'll watch me sneeze.
I think this has been a good weird episode.
I know.
I think we're let's wrap it up before it gets silly. Like too. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap things up.
Cheese and crackers.
In conclusion.
Are you waiting for my response?
No. What are you looking forward to in the next couple of weeks?
Weeks?
Months, years?
I'm not sure. Just expanding my business, making money, getting the tools I need. I want a storefront eventually, but money is the only issue. Money and.
You're
legal
hustling,
legal
though.
ownership.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it'll
didn't say
come.
I
You're
am.
doing the right things.
I am trying to.
You're killing it.
invest.
Killing it,
Cheese
Luca.
and crackers.
This is the part where you say, "Oh, Brennan, you're doing a good job."
Oh
too."
yeah, Ronan, you're doing an amazing job too. Oh, okay, Mom. I love the stained glass. I always get distracted by it. It's very vibrant. The blues and the purples, especially the blues.
Is there anybody else we want to shout out just because they're cool? I don't know. Sandy's cool.
Oh yeah, Sandy at Maple Street Pics on Instagram. Laurel Coyle, is that how you pronounce her last name?
Yeah.
I only know her as Laurel. I think she's just like Laurel Coyle. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Laurel. Obviously.
You know who Tobin is? I don't know him
I
well,
know of him.
but his
Obviously,
style
Austin.
is...
Oh, the guy who makes his own clothes.
Yeah.
Guy who makes his own clothes and walks around the square with those very, very good books. I think your name is Tobin, but
Yeah.
I like what you do. Obviously,
Yeah.
Austin and Taylor at Chaparral. Chris and Miranda at Loops. I'm just trying to think people that, everyone knows each other. Everyone, we all support each other's businesses. Obviously, Bertha and all of the staff here at the Clark Library for their intense generosity with both letting me work on the clock and letting us record in this space. It's honestly the best space to use for that purpose.
If someone has a broken old clock, how do they reach you?
AWCI professional directory. Can I find the website?
Yeah. You may use your phone.
I'm trying to be formal. So just search up AWCI for American Watch and Clockmakers Institute directory. So AWCI directory, it will be find a professional at American Watch and Clockmakers Institute. Put in your area code if you're in Lockhart 78644, and if you put in 78644, I am your first option because I am the closest to you. You can also find me on my Instagram, send me a private message on there, or go to the website, which is still linked there, where you can contact me at my business phone or Lazarus's phone. Right now, because Lazarus does not live in town, just send all things to me. I'm kind of
Cool.
being the secretary.
Yeah, he's on the road, huh?
Yeah, he's got an RV, but he's organizing his life. It will return.
Luca, thank you so much for
Of
having
course,
this
thank you.
wild conversation with me.
Yeah, I enjoy these kind of
It
conversations.
was fun. Thank you for all the work you do.
Of course, thank you.
You never know how to end these things.
These things.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is produced by Graybeard Films and made possible through the support of Go Back to California. If you have feedback or a suggestion of someone you think should be interviewed, you can reach me at brandon@graybeardfilms.com. For updates, bonus clips, and more stories from Caldwell County, follow Lockhart Bits and Pieces on Instagram. Until next time.